G'day everyone, Alex McKellar here again for another Top Split TV race replay this week. Our week culminates at KnockHill for the SkipJack, the Japanese community strength of field race. I think it was about a 3,500 strength of field this week. It was the top soft or strength of field of the week so far on a Saturday night Australian time, about 10 p.m, about 9 p.m. Japanese time. GMT plus 10, or if you follow the Australian time. Anyway, pretty strong field assembled here. Of course, a lot of Japanese drivers, as you would expect. Sasaki put it on pole, which was great. He a very strong driver. He's currently, prior to this race, sitting second in the overall official standings behind Naoya Nagai, his compatriot, after... at the halfway point of the season. Vasco Swarovski for Team Clowns, head clown and chief racing rival at the moment. He stuck it on the front row, and look, you can see Seb Schultz, who's a very strong international driver, or European driver. You see that front three separated by less than a hundredth, so 1/1000 separated through them, and it gives you an indication of both their speed and the tightness of the racing here. Then there's myself on the second row, nearly 2/10 behind. It's probably indicative of my pace here relative to those guys. I had Donald Sabanal in chat with me on Discord. I streamed this live on Top Split TV on Twitch. If you go check that out, you can see what the race looked like live in the seat, and the sweating and the, well, not swearing, but, you know, it was tough. Tough out there. Other drivers of note that I know and race with regularly, Takumi Yamato. Kuroda's a good member of the Japanese racing community as well, but Yamato's right up there with the best. Doesn't do as much skippy at the moment. Nakajima, who's sort of team captain for a joint tilt at the 24 hours between a group of Japanese drivers and a bunch of mates from the Top Split community for the Masters. Not the Masters. Anyway, we're going to do a 24 hour at Le Mans. If we look who else was in the field, going over the page, if I can find the right button, there it is. Shorter, who organises the race, and good on him for doing that. It's good to get the community together. He's about 6/10 off, but he's pretty quick on his day. Ryan Portelli, who we did a race with, and we put it up on YouTube last week, actually, at Road America. Mark Jeffrey, the great Mark Jeffrey. He was in there as well, about a second off the pace. Second clown in the field was Gregory Adams. When I say clown, that's their team names, Team Clowns. And Ueda, the final Japanese driver there. So, look, it was about 1 million laps around a short circuit. Very tight racing, very challenging. Could not be more different than the racing at Road America last week. This was, I think, my fourth race. I'm not particularly strong around here. But let's take a look at what it looks like. I'll just get the right overlays up, and we'll get underway. So away, 20, not quite 1 million laps, 27 around here, and we're starting in P4. I prefer the inside start because I like to maybe have a look here at turn 1, and it's a lot more difficult to do around the outside. I like to do that at the start of the race potentially. Turn 1 is really the best passing opportunity here, but the exit onto the long straight here after that hairpin, yeah, you can actually get it done inside and outside. Interesting there, the guys who are quicker there, they're using more of the circuit than I was on the first lap. And the tip I picked up last night was to turn HDR off in your graphic settings, and you don't get the sun shining in your eyes, because I did a race before this and I had it turned on. Oh my gosh, I mean, as if that ski jump of a chicane, downhill chicane in the middle of the circuit wasn't a challenge enough to do it with the sun in your eyes blinding your ability to spot the apex of the entry. The entry in the apex was really challenging. So pretty status quo, at least in the top 5 to begin with. Yamato's up a spot, Nakajima's up a spot, so is Kuroda, the Japanese contingent, of course led by Sasaki out in front tonight. Now this was interesting. You can see the different lines here. Vasco misses the apex of the first of that, the two in the chicane there, and you see it immediately backs up. He sort of didn't quite get his angle right there through the penultimate corner as well. And immediately you'll see here he pulls over to the right and he's on the radio saying, hey, I picked up a slowdown. Now I've never, aside from having a big eye, I've never picked up a slowdown through there. I think it was the line he took through the chicane. I forgot to ask him, but anyway, so I'll be honest with you, at that point I thought that was about the only way I was going to get a pass on any one of them, because I had a win during the week here in a low soft, but then this was the third 3k soft in a row, and it might have been the third one we'd done with Sasaki too, or at least the second one, and he had pace, and I knew as soon as I lost draft, if it was to happen, they were gone. I didn't have the pace to, at best I could match them for a lap or two, maybe even 10 laps I could match, but I couldn't bridge a gap if they went, unless they battled. So Swarovski, it only cost him 3 spots, and certainly didn't cost him the lead pack. But you can see I'm already about half a second behind. It's nearly 7/10 in actuality behind Schultz, and I'm already really worried, if I'm honest. Bit of a lock up there helped from Sasaki. And Seb in front, canny man that he is, already looking to break the draft. Just upset the draft if at all possible. This is at 7/10. That corner there, turn 3 I think it is, very, very challenging, as is this turn 4 and 5. Very easy to ruin your night there, and already I've lost another 1/10 and a half through those sections. I'm already worried, because I know as soon as it hits that second mark, I'm pretty much done and dusted. And I know that Swarovski's probably the only one that could maybe bridge that gap. I mean, he had the same pace as those guys, I think. It certainly wasn't going to be done by me. But I'm doing my best. Donald's very patient behind, and already we're on lap 5. It's crazy. 4 minutes in, we're on lap 5. So it's still pretty settled, but I have a suspicion that Vasco will be pretty keen to get back up, as I missed the apex and really butcher that corner. And Donald has a think about looking through here, but honestly, 2x2 through this chicane is a madman's folly. And Donald's no madman. So at this stage, we lost another half a second on that lap, I think, to the guys in front. And typically my approach in a race like this is not to battle if we're a chance of catching the guys in front. If someone makes a move or whatever, or depending on who it is, if they're at least as fast as me, I'll let them through. And the guys in this sort of field are, typically at least as fast as me when we're racing together. If everyone, all things being equal in quality. But I sort of figured that, and again, I didn't do very well through turn 3, and Donald's getting itchy feet at that point to come through. But at this point, where we're 2 seconds behind, I don't think we're going to bridge that gap, so I'm probably okay if Donald has a look, and I'll let him through, but and I don't necessarily have a problem with letting Vasco through, but the challenge is if Vasco gets through, he could potentially do what the 2 guys in front are currently doing, which is drive away. Big move from Vasco behind in the mirrors. Chucks it up the inside. Donald, almost too much courtesy there, and it costs him 2 positions as Swarovski, and did it? I thought it cost him 2. No, it didn't. I beg your pardon. Only cost him 1. It looked like Yamato was also going to go up the inside. So now, like I said, we're 2 seconds behind Schultz. Only lost a 10th, lost another 10th through there, because I'm so terrible through this sector. You see, I'm not using all the track through there either. At turn 6, I think that is. And it makes me really slow. So as a result of I was actually concerned that if I let Vasco by too easy, he was going to drive away. So I defended, which at this point of the race, I'd conceded that we're not going to catch those guys. We're fighting for third. So I had to mount a serious defence. And so he got the better run because my entry was compromised into the hairpin, which is the primary passing opportunity. So I immediately moved over to the left, up the back straight there to make sure that Vasco didn't get the inside into turn 3. So, you know, all the while I know this is costing us time, but this is now our race. Well, it's my race, and that's my strategy to try and get to the flag in the right position. So, whilst, you know, always the primary goal is to get flag to flag, green to check it in as short a time as possible, you know, part of that, or second to that, will be in the best position possible. Well, I guess that's the primary goal as we defend once again for Vasco. He looks to come underneath here, so I shorten my exit, shorten my track out and force him to go on the outside. And at this point I was looking right, and I got, you see a little jink there, I got really spooked because he's still there. He wants to go around the outside. And you can see, and he kept telling me my steering wheel went right. There was a contact there, but if you look at my steering wheel there, it was always to the left. There was actually a netcode contact there, and I was a bit worried about that one. I thought, oh, that was pretty tight. I hope I didn't do anything wrong there, but we'll have a look at that. So that was on lap 9. I remember that's on lap 9. Have a look at that one. Like, at the time I said it was netcode, and I think I only had 3 incident points with this race, so there was no contact at any stage. A couple of off tracks. And I was actually toying with the idea, oh, what a terrible exit. I was actually toying with the idea of letting Vasco through because of the contact. And if in a race, if I know I'm at fault, if I'm confident I'm at fault, I'll absolutely let someone through. That one I wasn't so sure of, but the other thing I was thinking at the time, and I think I said it on stream, was that he's only a second behind me. He's faster than me. He'll absolutely catch me. There's no dramas about that. So I wasn't too worried. I knew he'd be back. That's assuming, of course, he didn't pick up any damage, and if he had picked up damage, it would have been race over anyway. So much of a muchness. I knew it wouldn't be long before he back on. You see, he's already caught up 2 tenths. So as we start lap 11. Yeah, we're already on lap 11. Strange, I thought we were on lap 9, suddenly we skipped one anyway. So yeah, look, I was worried about that one. That one was playing on my mind. I wasn't expecting Vasco to go around the outside, if I'm honest. We talked after the race, and he said to me that I don't know, he said that my braking was really good into turn 1. It is something I'd spent a bit of time on this week because it was the primary point on the track where you needed to attack and defend. So I'd spent a bit of time, done a couple of time trials, practicing my braking into there to make sure that I could go deep and safe and hopefully be pretty consistent. So in that next lap, Vasco caught up 4 tenths. So again, like I said, I wasn't real worried that I was going to drop him, assuming he didn't have damage, and the battle recommences. We're on lap 12 now. And the battle is about to get back underway, of course. So I'm trying to use more of the track on entry to turn 3 here. It's difficult. It's such a difficult track. Cresting unsighted. See, if the sun's shining straight in your eyes there, you got no hope of seeing that apex on the left of that chicane. Vasco's right on my tail again, and we do fully recommence our battle here. So I move over to the left to defend. Vasco goes to the right, keeps me fairly tight, about mid-track. He breaks a lot deeper. Oh gee, I thought I got a bit scared. I wasn't gonna say I was squeezed there. He took a legit line, but I was worried there. And I actually moved right over to the left just to use a bit more track to pull him behind. I gave up that spot on exit. Vasco got a better run through there. You can see how close he was to me on the right. I got a bit spooked, I have to admit. But there's nothing wrong with it, that's for sure. See how lifted through there. See how much it cost me too. So hard to be unsighted through there on your own, let alone with a car right in front of you. Very difficult. Full pump to oh, Yamato's got past on Sabanal by this stage as well. Full pump to the drivers behind me. I was going to say Yamato and Sabanal, both who were able to do that behind me regularly. Now, I wasn't close enough to have a lunge there at Vasco, so I didn't. And thankfully, I had an eye on Yamato behind me because, of course, in this sort of pack, where there's so few opportunities to pass, if I back off and don't attack Vasco into there, it leaves the door open for the likes of Yamato so quick behind me to have a crack at me. So it's sort of a bit of a microcosm of what it was like at Road America last week, where you're attacking to defend sometimes. So, and I talk about the non-verbal communication, right? As much as as part of my decision making coming into turn one as to whether I attack Vasco or I'm attacking to overtake or I'm attacking to defend is reading the body language of the car behind me. Is he going to attack me? If he is, then I need to run the inside line, show the nose on Vasco to keep Yamato behind me at bay. So, there's a lot of strategy going on in most races in the skips, given the tightness of the racing, and equally here, your mind is split between absolutely trying to wrestle the car around this very technical and challenging circuit, as well as the little microcosm of the battle that you're having within the race. Terribly missed that corner there. So it is quite a unique challenge here. And when I say you're wrestling the car, I said to the guys on the stream last night, I literally, and I'm not even joking, had to ice my shoulder after doing 3 races back to back here. My right shoulder, the muscles, the deltoid muscles in it were absolutely screaming at me. Whether or not I was just gripping the wheel too hard. It's a lot of left-hand turns, so you're sort of lifting up with the right-hand side of the wheel. My right shoulder was killing me. It was interesting, I even at different times throughout the race thought about a video I watched with Marcus Ambrose when he was doing some sort of guides on how to drive different cars at different tracks, and he did one on, can't remember, I think it was ovals, it was either ovals or dirt ovals, but let's just say it was ovals, and he talked about in the steering, it's not always about pushing over the top with the right hand as much as it can be pulling underneath with the left hand at an oval and controlling the wheel that way. So for me here, given this is so many left hand turns, at times I was using that as a strategy just to give some relief to my right shoulder rather than to actually as a steering technique otherwise. But interesting that he talked about that actually. Anyway, at this point, we're kind of settled in behind Vasco. The whole time I was thinking, all right, I really want to get in front of him. I don't want him to have the chance to run away. So I need to find the right kind of pressure. See, I back off too much there. I closed up on him through turn 3, but I lost it all on the run into turn 4 chicane. Better run there through the turn, I'm going to say 6. I haven't got my track map up. Oh, I've got a track map on this. And Vasco sensed that, so he immediately moved to the left to cover off. So I thought, all right, I'll have a look around the outside, see how we go. Used all the track on entry, got a good run around the outside. My theory there was, and I didn't get as good a run as I thought apparently, my theory there was that I can brake deeper on the outside because it's, a car width and a half deeper apex at that point because there's someone on your inside. At this point I'm actually more worried about Yamato than I am Vasco, but at the same time I'm worried about Vasco running away. Because he's about half a second. As soon as you're at about half a second I get really worried. I had a decent run through there. You can see I picked up that half a tenth through that corner. And we're back inside half a second, which helps. Helps a lot. Alright, let's see if this track map helps us at all. Nah, it's in a dodgy position. We'll fix that up maybe for next time. Alright, so we're at lap 19, we're in the closing third of the race. Again, strategy here was, coming unstuck because I'm doing that sort of thing. The strategy here is try and do my best not to let Vasco get away, but you can see, I'm pushing too hard there. I just probably about less than half a car width offline through that chicane. You can take so much of it, but not that much. And any more than that, and I assume that's how Vasco picked up his slowdown at the start of the race. Any more than that though, the front of your car buries down on the landing and it just spits you out and your competitive race is over. So, but I had such a poor run through there that I had to focus on catching Vasco, and more importantly not letting him get away. You know, we're in lap 20 now, so 8 laps to go. 7.5 thereabouts, and the opportunities to actually mount a legitimate attack are starting to fall away. It's amazing the intensity in these battles because at a track like this, because you are, and again you can see what I mean, the nose wants to fall down. And I actually said to myself, stop over driving, because I was too much in my head at this point about Vasco running away. And I was forgetting how to drive, so, but thankfully we were still in touch. But yeah, I was just saying that the intensity in these battles is quite remarkable, because there's so much about wrestling the car around the circuit that the normal bandwidth you have to process your strategy and execution of your strategy and how you might set things up is greatly diminished. Part of it because it's a new circuit. And nobody spent a lot of time here. Of course, we're in the reverse layout this time, which is probably after this I'd say my preferred layout. Not that I actually am thrilled when this first track's on the calendar, if I'm honest. I prefer the longer GP layouts. But I guess I actually like the short technical circuits as well for a different kind of challenge. I love Oran Park. I really like, there's a couple of layouts at the Charlotte Roval that we don't often see that I like as well. You don't get out of fourth gear typically. Alright, here we go. Down the outside again after getting a good run. This time we're a bit closer on exit and I hold it side by side. You can see, and again, you can see there was another little netcode contact there. And what lap was that? Lap 22. So lap 9 and lap 22. We'll have a look at those. And there we go, side by side. This time we get it to work. And Yamato's through as well. Yamato went around the outside of Vasco 2 for 1. Lap 22, we got to look at that one. Side by side through turn 1, through turn 2. And then 2 for 1. And at this point, I reckon, what do we got? 5 laps to go as we cross the line. I reckon Vasco would have been gunning. I don't know what's going on in his head, but I reckon it's pretty fever pitched at this point. Notice I hold my line. I didn't think Yamato was a threat at that point. And I figured actually Vasco's got the pace in this group. So he was still the one to watch. I felt better if Yamato was behind me. I felt I could defend from Yamato. I thought the greater threat was actually Vasco. Now, it's no disrespect to Yamato, and he showed the nose there, but I didn't bite. I got to hold that line. It's too important to get through there in one piece. First time in a while I've had clear track in front of me, and although I had the double dip on the gas there, better track usage, better line through there, a little bit short on exit. But he's not close enough. I did sort of move centre track, but he's not close enough there to have a crack. Vasco's up the inside there. Beautiful. I'm thinking, you beauty. Go, boys. Side by side. This was my legit chance to get away. But I think by the looks of that, yeah, Vasco backed out. Smart. I think either he didn't have the run there, But he knows, even with only 3.5 laps to go, if those two battle there, there's every chance they don't catch me. And that's really patient stuff, really smart, because your race for the final podium position could be over there. Now, you saw earlier in the race, I gave up on P1 and 2 because I knew I wasn't going to catch him. So I was happy to battle. Vasco, even at this stage, hasn't given up on the podium position, hence why he backed out of that move out of this corner last race. Really smart stuff. Oh, he got the yips behind me on the exit too. He's still trying, don't get me wrong, but and I'm thrilled because at this point of the race with 2.5 to go, they're still battling, and my biggest threat is still 2 cars behind me. And again, that's not to say Yamato's not a threat, but he's not doing as much racing in the skips anymore. And Vasco and I have got a good little local rivalry going. And Vasco's, I know, has got pace on me here. And meanwhile, Donald in P6 is patiently sitting there looking for an opportunity. I think he needs to push his case a bit more, young Donald. He's got the pace to do it. Oh, beautiful. Up the inside goes Swarovski. And with, less than 2 laps to go, I've just thought, oh, can the person writing the script for this please write another ending? Because here comes Vasco. I know it's good for the viewing. Oh, and he moved centre track there. I really wanted to discourage him. I said, no, we're not going 2x2 through here, mate, because he had the run on me through turn 3. Look how close he is. He knows this is the lap. He knows it. Look, he's 2/10 behind as we come up the hill. He's less than as we exit. McKellar shortens his exit and moves straight over to the left. I want this inside into the braking zone in the final lap. This is it. This is where the climax of the race happens. Jam on the brakes. Hit the inside. Keep him out. Vasco backed out. He backed out. I don't know if I just had the run or we got spooked on a different line. And then I've got to defend through here. I was even to the point of being a little slow through here just to make sure we got it. Little bit to the left. You're not having a look there, buddy. Make sure even if I'm a bit slow through here, it's okay. Now I've got to watch the inside of this penultimate corner here is my view. He's not going to get me through here. Beautiful. At this point, I think we've got it. I was comfortable by this point, and I think even Vasco might have even come on the radio and said, yeah, good race, good race. Beautiful. All right, we got it, P3. That was hard fought. And like I said, Hollywood script writer couldn't have written it better. The climax in the last lap or so. It was a good, strong battle. Good fun. Congrats to Sasaki and Schultz. Look at him, he's into me. Look, he's into me. Come on, Vasco. Be nice. All right. Let me find the right controls here. I'll hide that one. Let's have a look at our. I don't know if I can. I don't think everyone's finished yet. Actually, I want to have a look at the results. The lap 9, I think we said. There are a couple of key incidents. Oh, it doesn't like that. Oh, let's do it this way. Lap 9, I think we said. Yeah. Lap 9. I'll turn the overlays off. We'll have a look at what does Chase look like here. All right. So we're in here. I think it was, yeah. So we're side by side. Okay, so I actually got it. You see my car make a little kink to the left here. That's when I looked right and I went, oh, he's there. Oh, hang on, I can't go there. I can't go. I didn't realise how close he was. I heard the call right, but I thought I was further along. See, beautiful track usage there by Vasco. using all of the corner entry. All right, beautiful. We come in, and you can see it's quite clean. Alex is tracking out, but I stopped. Vasco's got a bit more on the right there to use if he wants. But again, it's hard to judge when you're racing like that. Look at that. Look just in the rear of Vasco's outside rear tyre. You can see laying a bit of rubber there, and then it just stops. Interesting. To be expected, I suppose. But you can see there's plenty of room, which is good. And then see how my car bumps twice and then comes across. And I say in the cockpit view, we were worried about, Vasco was worried about my steering going out towards him. Let's just watch. Turning left, straightens up on exit. There's no point there that I'm going to the right. See? So that's another indicator for mine that it's net code. You see I'm always outwards to the left. So that was okay. That was pretty reasonable. Just a shame about the net code, but that's what you get, I guess, out of that kind of close racing. And it's a shame. I mean, this was the thing that put Vasco a bit further back. But like I said, I wasn't too worried. He came back pretty good. Now, I've forgotten what the other lap was. I think it was 22. Let's see. I think it was 22. Keller on the outside. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was. Look at that. So, on the outside here, I could have used a tyre with more in the braking zone there. We turn in. Good sharp turn in. Now here, I reckon Vasco's thinking he's got the job done, but I know you get a better drive on the exit because I've experienced it on the other side. I didn't track out as much as I could, but again, you can see there's massive distance between our cars, and yeah, that's the other netcode contact. And this series of corners was really good too. Vasco stayed in it from memory. I thought I got clear, but he stays in it. And this time, how's my track usage here? It's not as good as Vasco's. Then we come through. And again, you can see I've used more of the track on exit there. And Vasco actually, I think, backed out there in the end. And it was interesting because Yamato took the opportunity to go through. Look at that. That was the other key point. Right, and Yamato took the opportunity to go through. Still, and I mean, Vasco fought back after that, which was great. Yeah, look, great race. There were a couple of key moments in it, though. Let's just quickly check out the results. Sasaki, after this race, and I haven't checked this morning, but he was leading the overall standings. Of course, Nalia Nagai, who he overtook, still has a race in hand, or a week in hand. And I hope he turns out for the SNL race tonight, because that'll make things pretty cool. Seb Schultz, great that Seb joined us. I wish he joined us on his main. His main's about 7K. I hope he joins us for SNL tonight too. And even better, Seb, if you're listening, do it on your main. Let's have another 6K strength of field. I was lucky, up one spot into third, just ahead of my chief sparring partner at the moment, Mr. Vasco Sorofsky. As you can see why we're each other's chief sparring partner at the moment. Some good moments in that race. Yamato behind us in fifth. Donald Sabanal chasing all the top 5% races he can get. Unfortunately, just out this time for Team Milo in sixth. Ryan Portelli made some moves, didn't he? Up 7 positions at a track that's notoriously difficult to pass at. Similarly, Greg Adams, the other clown in the race. Car 19, final car in this field. And he's up 7 positions to just finish outside the top 10. Strong drive. Yeah, well done. I think he picked up some iron. I think about 26. Good job. All right, folks, that might just about do us. Thank you, as always, for joining. Make sure you check us out on Top Split TV, Sunday night, 9:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time at the moment, GMT plus 10, for the hottest Skip Barber racing action broadcast for you by Top Split TV, of course. We have a great night. Average strength of field at the moment is approaching 5,200. So, and the racing, honestly, if you do nothing else and you've waited this long to the end of the video, go check out last week's race at Road America. It is the best racing action you will see anywhere on iRacing, without doubt. Go check it out. Otherwise, folks, you can check that race out actually on the Top Split on YouTube, the Top Split, which is where obviously you found this one. So, folks, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Alex McKellar, and until next time, ciao for now.